Gamers, what's good? So we finally have the rarities confirmed for this upcoming set. This video is a couple hours late. Honestly, it's because I didn't want to drop it too early because I was just dropping my Horus video this morning. Then I was like, oh man, yeah, okay. So obviously this new big 10 gigabyte update is going to have all the new stuff confirmed in it. It is what it is. So we are going to cover it at least to talk a bit about these cards. I mean, I am very excited for this upcoming set. I always say that pretty much. So, you know, call me a glazer if you want. I just think Konami's been doing a pretty damn good job with the sets in Master Duel for a pretty long time. They don't have a lot of misses, and this one's going to be no exception. I think this is going to be a really good set. So let's look at the confirmed rarities here. So the ones that are confirmed, we have Salamangreat Raging Phoenix being a UR. We're going to talk about all these cards individually after we look at the rarities. But yeah, this card is definitely going to see play in Snake Eyes. So I am not surprised to see this card at UR. Then we have a Horus, a Black Flame Deity at UR. I'm glad that this is a UR because that means that this is one less UR you're going to need for Horus. Unless you want to play like pure Horus, man, you don't really need the Black Flame Deity. It's not a very good card. Yeah. Memento Tekul look, combined creation. The Memento combined creation, that's a big 5,000 attack one if I remember correctly. It's going to be a UR as expected. You don't need more than one if you want to build Memento. Eventually they should be good. If we don't get all the big support this set, we'll get it later. SP Little Knight being UR is no surprise, but I am super excited to finally have Little Knight confirmed for the game. The leaks are finally confirmed. I've been waiting for this card. I know a lot of people are kind of like divided on this card, but personally I think it looks really, really fun to play with and definitely adds an interesting layer to the metagame. So I really like Little Knight. I'm really excited for it. You are usually going to need one. I think Rescue Ace runs two though, so you know, don't quote me on that. And Overload Future Fusion, I don't even know what this one is. We'll check that out when we go on Master Duel Meta. And that's about it for the confirmed rarities. Then they're showing us here the theme intros. Yeah, whatever. So Horus, we're not going to read this, bro. I'm not reading that. At the end of the day, okay, the card's right here. Maybe we can read it here then. Let's do that. Sorry, I know this is the least interesting one. It's probably a dismantle, but I am curious. So you can only activate one of these effects. No, you can activate one of these effects, but you can only use each effect once per turn. Oh, wow. So you get both effects. Okay. So reveal a fusion monster in your extra deck and send one material whose name is mentioned on it from your deck to the grave, but for the rest of this turn you cannot special summon or activate the effects of monsters with the same name as the one sent to the grave by this effect. Interesting. And fusion summon one dark machine fusion monster from your extra deck by banishing its materials from your grave. Oh wait, so is this like Cyber Dragon / Cyber Dark support? Let me know in the comments if there's other decks that use this that I'm not familiar with. The first effect doesn't seem terrible. It doesn't seem amazing either, but I mean, hey, it's an extra foolish, but you don't get to use the card this turn. So, you know, if you need a name engrave, maybe. I don't know. Doesn't seem amazing. This is probably going to be a dismantle for me. But we're going to head on over to Master Duel Meta because a lot of the cards that are probably going to be UR are leaked anyway. So we can talk about that a little bit. So while we're looking at the update screen here, Heavy Storm just got an animation, which I think is really, really interesting because that might mean that Heavy Storm is finally coming back. I've always been a bit confused as to why this card is even banned. Like, I don't really see how Heavy Storm is better than Harpy's Feather Duster. I get that you can pop your own back row and that has some synergy with certain decks, but I think that aspect of it is actually kind of cool. I don't like, are we worried that artifacts are going to be too broken? Are we worried about like tier elements setting their own traps and then going Heavy Storm? Like, fair enough, but I mean, that is still like a probably a Saki one-off. Who knows? Maybe they'll put it at more than one, but I'm expecting, since they added an animation, probably putting Heavy Storm at 1 in the next ban list, and we might see a ban list pretty soon just for that. So looking forward to that. If that is the case, I think Heavy Storm is a classic card that everybody loves, so it's really nice to see it come back. Now for the leaked cards, so obviously this Horus stuff just implies that we're going to be getting the whole Horus engine, and I made a whole video about this engine, so I'm not going to go too crazy about it. If you guys want to know more about the engine, just watch the video I dropped literally today, earlier this morning, and I just kind of go over all the new cards anyway in this engine. But I will say, this is definitely not going to be the only UR. I am confident that this is going to be the most expensive aspect of this pack. Is if you want the Horus engine, I am guessing that Imseti is going to be UR because it's the best Horus monster, and I'm also guessing King Sarcophagus is going to be UR because the whole engine kind of revolves around this card. So you're looking probably at like, you know, 5 to 6 URs to run the engine, like the typical engine, without running the actual Black Flame Deity that you're not really going to want to run in most decks. So yeah, definitely I don't think this is going to be the only UR for the engine. That just would not make any sense. And for Salamangreat, I wouldn't be surprised if I'm just going to go look at the name because I forget what it's called. I don't think Code of Soul necessarily is going to be a UR, just because it's the kind of thing you'll only run one of. But I wouldn't be surprised if Salamangreat of Fire, which is kind of like the new Stratos that you have in Salamangreat, is a UR. That wouldn't surprise me at all, because this is one that you'll be running, I believe, at 3 in Salamangreat. It's pretty much the only new Salamangreat that will be run at 3. Weasel is going to be at 1. Code of Soul is not even a must run, and if you do run it, it's at 1. The other ones are not amazing and not really run in general, especially the Synchro. That is ass. And obviously this one was already confirmed for being a UR. The Raging Phoenix, this is a pretty cool card. It's basically like your OTK enabler for Snake Eyes. And it just keeps coming back, and it's a big body. It's a good link for, you know, you can make this instead of Amblo Whale to have an easy body to special summon from the grave. Basically, it special summons itself if a fire monster is destroyed, and then it gains that attack. So if you guys are familiar with the Zealantis line with Promethean Princess, where basically you go Zealantis, special summon everything back, then Promethean Princess triggers in the grave and pops a fire monster you control and a card your opponent controls. Well, now you get to do that, and then because a fire monster you control was destroyed, you'll actually also get to special summon Raging Phoenix, which just makes it even easier to go for that Zealantis OTK. So you should not be surprised if you see this card run in Snake Eyes. It's probably going to be a very common pick. Now, SP Little Knight is definitely the highlight of this set. I think everyone would agree. This is going to be a new staple extra deck monster that you're going to be seeing in pretty much every extra deck. Even decks that are like extremely rogue and extremely bad can, at the very least, if they get interrupted, pass on SP. And yeah, that's not the best thing in the world, but it is better than nothing. Or you'll pass on IP plus a monster, then on opponent's turn you can go SP. That's like actually pretty solid, because SP on summon, if it's made using a Link monster or any other extra deck monster, will banish a card from either the grave or the field. So it has kind of that unicorn applicability, you know, without even a discard. So not only do you not need to discard, but you'll also get to banish a card instead of shuffling it into the deck. Now, you could argue that shuffling into the deck is better, but still, the fact that you don't have to discard is really massive for this card. And that's not even the best part about it. The other thing, its quick effect is absolutely insane. So on top of having that removal effect, you have this quick effect of you can target 2 face-up monsters on the field, including a monster you control, banish both until the end phase. And this effect is good to interrupt your opponent, but it's also good to protect your own cards. You can use SP Little Knight to dodge Infinite Impermanence, for example. This is why you'll be seeing this card a lot in Rescue Ace, because if you summon Turbulence while SP is on the field and they try to imperm the Turbulence on activation, well, you can just go SP Little Knight and dodge by banishing both the SP and the Turbulence, and at the end phase they'll return to the field. So this is like an incredible card. Honestly, it's going to see a ton of play, and I'm super excited about that dynamic. I know a lot of people are like, bro, this is too free. It's almost like a DPE, but for just any 2 effect monsters. Kind of crazy. So I get it if people don't really like it, and who knows, maybe I'll start complaining about it, as I usually do after, you know, the recency bias wears off and I'm like, oh my god, now I hate this card. I'm so sick of seeing this card. Keep in mind, guys, I'm the biggest Floowandereeze hater, and before Floowandereeze dropped, I was excited for it. So, like, the recency bias with me, it's real. Like, I get excited for shit because I just want to try it, and then after a while, I get sick of it. I'm like, okay, now I have real opinions. Now I have real opinions on this stuff. But for now, super excited to see SP Little Knight. The only other thing really that we could talk about is Mementos, I would say. And Memento, it's not amazing, and also we don't know if we're going to get all the support at first. If we don't, it's probably not even going to be rogue. It does have 1-card combos, but it is very easy to interrupt. So if we don't get the 3rd wave of support for Memento, it's definitely going to be very underpowered. Now, Konami has done this before, where they'll release an underpowered deck and they will just like make you wait super long until the pack is gone, and then they release a support. They did that for Branded Despia, where they like released the Despia pack way before they dropped the Branded Fusion. So people needed to craft a bunch of Branded Despia cards at that point once Branded Fusion dropped. So I wouldn't be surprised if they went for this, because I know once a 3rd wave of support comes in, this deck actually becomes a very real and pretty solid strategy. So I don't know if they're going to go for that. We could also see all the support come out at once. This is not confirmed, so we just don't know. I'll say if we don't get all the support, I'll probably be trying to get all these cards in advance for when we do get the last wave of support, just so I don't have to craft a bunch of cards if they decide to drop the third wave months down the line, you know? So yeah, I mean, Memento, not the craziest deck ever if it doesn't get everything. It's just kind of a deck that's based on popping itself and triggering a bunch of effects. It's really cool, and I love the artwork on it. It's a bunch of references to old Yu-Gi-Oh monsters like Ghost in the Attic and stuff. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing this deck in action. I'm just not sure if it's going to be amazing. But yeah, that's about it. That kind of covers everything that has been announced. I'm really looking forward to it. This pack is coming out on May 8th at like 11 p.m. / 2:30 a.m. later for EST people. So like between May 8th and May 9th, we'll be seeing this pack released. I'm likely to do a short stream as the pack releases, just to open the packs with you guys watching. So if you want to be notified when I go live and when I do that stuff, because you're like me and you just sleep on goblin hours and have a terrible sleep schedule, then, you know, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And you know, if you're not gonna watch the stream, well then, I mean, don't hit it. Don't hit it. Fuck it. Don't hit it. I don't